exercise. Once you've got your band, we're going to extend and then we're going to pull back. Very simple movement, very slow. Extend and pull back. What you want to make sure is that your shoulder blades are trying to squeeze together. Imagine as if someone had their finger in between your two shoulder blades and you're trying to squeeze their finger. So you're going to squeeze and release, and squeeze and release. So what we're going to do is take your handle, you're going to put one inside the other and bring it to the net post or to the chair or whatever you have. And with your right hand, we'll start with right, just again gently at your side. You want to keep your elbow in to your hip bone or to your oblique right here. You want to make sure that the band isn't really too taut this time. It's very important for rotator cuff exercises that you do them gently. You're not trying to show your power here. It's more about stretching and strengthening that specific area. So I would say if it's really taut, step in a little bit. Even if it gets a little loose, it's okay. So from here, you're just going to go out to about, I'd say maybe, almost 90, 80 degrees, and then come back in. And you're not coming all the way in so that your elbow's popping out. You're coming just before you hit your stomach. So you're out and you're back in. It's really important that you're not using other muscles or moving your elbow around in this exercise. You have to stay pretty still in a nice athletic stance, just coming out and back in, and out and back in. So we're going to again go for about 20 here. And when you're done, you simply just turn around. Same concept, except this time you're going to pull in and in. The out, make sure you're not overextending the out. You want to go out to where you feel comfortable, which is again going to be about 90, maybe 80 degrees. And then back in, you're not trying to pull forward. You're trying to keep everything really nice and straight. Again, remember, we're trying to contract back all the muscles that we use every day on the court, pulling forward. We're trying to strengthen all of this so that it stabilizes. In and out, just like this. Switch hands, same thing. It's important, even if you're righty, to strengthen the left side as well. Same thing, elbow's going to be right here. In, just like that. And to turn around, you simply just flip, and you're doing the same thing. You may even notice that one side is stronger than the other. It's important that as tennis players, we try to balance out each side as much as possible. So the next exercise I like to call scarecrow, because you kind of look like a scarecrow when you're doing it. So again, you're going to have the two straps against the net or the bar stool, whatever you have, or a person, whoever's nice enough to stand there for you. You're going to keep your elbows shoulder height. This is the most important point. At any time during this exercise, if your muscles drop, stop, start again. The whole point is to keep your elbows just like this, parallel to your shoulders. All right, so you take the band, and you're just going to go from here, up, back down, and up, back down, and up. This is really challenging. For me even, it's challenging. If you skip a week of this, you could already tell how much weaker you get. This exercise really helped my serve. I got it up to 120 miles per hour, and I feel like this was the one that really helped with rotation, forehand, anything moving forward, really strengthening the back of my muscles. So here again, we're going to come here, and we're just going to go up and come back down. You don't want to come back too far. Just here is good enough. Then come back up. And again, you're not trying to pull really too far back with your body. Just do whatever you can. However strong your rotator cuff and your shoulders are right now, stay there. Even if you can only get to here, it's fine. If it's too tough for you, easy, right? We just move in a little bit. If it's too easy, what's the solution? Moving back. So the next exercise I like to call the Flappy Bird. This is for your entire back, your traps, your rhomboids, your scapula, and also a little bit of rotator cuff. This is a pretty easy exercise, and you might wonder why you're doing it. It's excellent for your posture too. But this is what's going to help you strengthen those muscles that help, to stop the acceleration forward after you hit a forehand or a serve or a backhand. It's really important, again, keep emphasizing this, to strengthen those back muscles. So taking your band again in 2 hands, you're going to come at your sides, nice and relaxed. Keep your palms facing the back of the wall, so don't move them around, just nice back right here. And the objective is to squeeze back with your shoulder blades. So you take this, again, I don't have very taut resistance. Maybe if I was a little bit stronger, maybe I'd step back, but for right now, just about this much bounciness is good. I'm going to take my hands, my shoulder blades, starting with my shoulder blades, I'm going to push back. Come back, you're going to push back, squeeze for a second, and come back. Push and squeeze. So you can see if you do it fast, it's kind of like Flappy Bird. And you want to be careful here again not to wobble around. Engage your core, get yourself in a nice athletic stance, slight bend in the knees. You're coming here, your neck is straight, and you're just squeezing back. Squeeze the scapula back. Again, as if someone had a finger at your back and you're trying to squeeze their finger with your shoulder blades. So you're here, pushing back. You might feel this a little bit in your triceps too. That's great. I've always had very weak triceps, and this has really helped me as well. So the last exercise I have for you is strictly for the rotator cuff. What you're going to need is a light, small ball, about ½ pound to a pound, and a partner. And what you're going to do here is get down on one knee and propose. No, I'm kidding. So what you're going to do is take this ball, again, back in our lovely scarecrow position, and you're going to throw this ball back. Your partner will catch it and gently toss it back to you. And again, you're going to come only from here. And you want to make sure that your shoulder's not too high, not too low, and it's not dipping anywhere. Keep it at a nice angle right here at shoulder, at shoulder height. And you're going to come from here and simply just throw it back. Have someone throw it right back to you, just a toss. It's not a competition, but just make sure you're getting a nice action here. If the ball's a little heavy, you want to downsize. It's really important that you start light, even if it's a bit too light to begin with. It's better to go light than heavy and hurt yourself. I'm here, I'm throwing it back, getting it tossed back, again, here, and back. And this is really just isolating this entire rotator cuff. You might feel it after even the third one, might burn a little the next day, but you know that you're strengthening that, which is so
straight. Okay, so first we're going to have the shoulder internal rotation. You want to make sure that the elbow sticks to the side of your body and you move inside, outside as far as you can. Do it in a controlled fashion. Okay, next we're going to have the external rotation. Similar thing, you have the elbow on the hip bone and you move from inside to the outside as far as you can. Shoulder stays with you, as you can see Alex performing it. Then you also do that on the other side, so on both sides, both arms you will do it. Good. Also make sure that the upper body is really straight. You really want to have good shoulders, chest is out, shoulder blades together, straight up. Okay, there you can see again now the external shoulder rotation from the front. Very good. Okay, next we're going to have the horizontal abducted external rotation. So you want to make sure, same thing, you straighten the upper body, shoulder is about this level high, you go from the front up. Here again in a controlled fashion. This is also very good for the shoulder girdle complex, so you really strengthen also the musculature that attaches to the scapula. Good. You just want to make sure you don't raise the arm too high, because then the head of the humerus is not really in the fossa of the shoulder, so which is not ideal. Therefore we have the arm a little bit lower and do the movement this way. So now we're going to do the same thing with the internal rotation. You can do that both arms at the same time as Alex is demonstrating here. Same way, always want to make sure upper body is straight, chest out, shoulder blades together, good posture. And last but not least, we're going to have the lateral raises with a little bit of rotation. So you basically start with the thumb inside, you raise it, and then the thumb will point forward. And you lower it again, thumb is inside, thumb is forward. You might want to see that the band attaches all the way, so you really have good tension all the way of the movement. And we're also going to be doing that on both sides. Very good. Slowly and in a controlled fashion. You don't want to be doing that too fast, because the rotator cuff muscles are very deep inside the shoulder, small muscles, and we don't want to cause any muscle tears, because that will be painful and will
an injury. So what we want to do here for the first one, the first muscle of the rotator cuff is what's called the supraspinatus, and it runs across the top of the shoulder here, and that's going to be responsible for lifting your arm up and out this way. So I'm going to keep my elbow straight, nice and relaxed but straight. I'm going to keep my shoulder, feel like it's kind of down and back. So if I roll my shoulders in, it's going to be down and back. What I'm doing is I'm stabilizing the muscles in my back here. So I feel like I'm pulling, if I'm looking at the back of my shoulders here, I'm pulling these shoulders together to stabilize that shoulder joint. And then what I'm going to do is just simply lift up from my arm. And I have a little bit too much resistance there. I'm going to let out some resistance by stepping a little farther down on this band, so it actually makes it a little bit easier. And I'm going to keep my elbow straight, and I'm just going to lift this arm up nice and slow, and then let it go down nice and slow. We're going to do 8 repetitions while you're doing this, and you're going to do a total of 3 sets. I recommend doing both arms for tennis. We're mostly talking about the right shoulder, but you know, having good shoulder health in your left shoulder isn't going to hurt for all your other activities too. So that's the first one, the supraspinatus, and do 3 sets of 8 for that, and then we'll move on to the second exercise. All right, so the next exercise we have here is for the infraspinatus, and you can remember the rotator cuff by the acronym SITS. So first we had supraspinatus, starts with an S. Infraspinatus is next, and that's its role is external rotation from the shoulder. So what's happening here is I have my arm kind of across my stomach, and I let it rotate outward. I'm keeping my elbow still by my side, and I'm just letting this rotate. What I'm doing is I'm rotating my humerus from the shoulder socket here, and there's some small muscles in there. One of those is the infraspinatus that's going to allow me to do this. So I simply want to take this same resistance band, and I can do the exact same exercise that I was doing there, just with some resistance. And now I'm going to start with my arm in, and I'm going to let it rotate outward. I'm going to do the same thing, 8 repetitions, 3 different sets, and then I'm ready to move on to the next one. A third muscle we have here is the teres minor. It's very similar to the infraspinatus. It's just a slightly different angle, so we're going to work at this from a little bit higher. Now with the infraspinatus, we're at about waist level. I don't know if I mentioned that. And you can also do these in a door jam. You don't have to be out here on a tennis court. I've just wrapped this band around the screen because it's an easy way to practice this while you're at the tennis court. Here we're going to grab the band, and we're going to be a little bit higher. And instead of doing this motion straight across our body, we're going to start higher and we're going to work down as we're doing this. Very small difference. We're going to do the exact same thing, another 3 sets of 8. And again, I'm going to work on these very slow. I don't want to use a very heavy resistance band because I can actually create some damage if I'm creating a lot of resistance while I'm doing this. So I'm externally rotating at a little bit more of a downward angle, and I should feel this on the back of my shoulder. So I should be feeling this kind of running across the back of my shoulder there. That's your third exercise, three sets, 8 repetitions each, and then we'll be ready to go to the fourth and final exercise. Okay, so our final exercise is going to be working a muscle called the subscapularis. It attaches at the front of your humerus, and it's in charge of internally rotating or medially rotating this arm. So we're going to start here, and we're going to about waist high, and then we're going to internally rotate or medially rotate this arm toward our body. So we're going to go ahead and grab this resistance band. If you want more resistance, you can simply grab closer to the attachment point. You'll probably need a little bit more resistance for this one. These muscles that are going to aid in this are a little bit stronger, so a little bit more resistance is fine. Nice and slow, really controlled movements. We're not going fast here at all. We're going to do another 3 sets of 8. If you want a little less resistance, just grab farther out on the band.